What's up, Jill? How you doing? All right, people. Let's get it popping. What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Where are we? All right, let's get this rice situated. Welcome, welcome, people. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. So we're making dinner tonight, right? We're doing my version of hand rolls. So we're just doing a bunch of different things that we're gonna put into the nori. So I'm seasoning my rice right now, and this is sushi rice, aka sticky rice, that I cooked, right? And then the liquid that I'm putting into it is rice wine vinegar, sugar, and salt, right? That allows me to get that delicious, you know, sushi flavor situation, right? So super important to do this step, obviously, right? You don't want to cook that stuff into the rice. You want to cook your rice and keep it nice and al dente, and then you mix in the seasoned vinegar, all right? And since this is ready, I'm gonna just put it back in the pot so we can keep this nice and warm, all right? So if you didn't guess, it's Asian necked, all right? Put that to the side. Cover this bad boy. All right, that's done. Now let's get the veggies that we're gonna be putting inside of this beautiful hand roll. All right, so I have really fresh long beans from the market, right? So these we're gonna char, all right? So they're cut real nice and long so they'll fit into the nori, all right? So we have that. We're gonna do some carrots, and we're gonna cut them about the same length, and then the rest of it we're gonna use for our stir fry, right? So we're gonna do hand rolls, and we're gonna do a little yummy, yep, and we're gonna do a little mushroom cabbage stir fry. Cool. Welcome, welcome, people. Hope you're having an amazing Wednesday, right? Yes. Alrighty. You know what? Ellie needs to put on, next time she can put on jazz. The loop. Right? That's not, yeah, and that'll be really nice. So we're getting our carrots ready. All right? No. Well, music that's not copyrighted. So we can just find one of those loop jazz situations.
She puts it on loop herself.
So we'll see. Alrighty. How's everybody doing? If you're checking out the aprons, please make sure you do. Right, these aprons are my pride and joy. Well, one of them anyway, besides my cookbooks. All right, so if you ever want to be in the kitchen and look the part, right, look super official, then you should definitely grab you one of these aprons. All right. And the thing is, I don't really like selling, you know, but that's one of the reasons why TikTok is here, you know. I provide a lot of plant-based help, and then in return, I have products that I sell. So I figure it's a win-win, you know. People get information about being more plant-based, and then, you know, I get to sell some of my cool creations. You know what I mean? I have multiple styles of aprons, and I have 2 cookbooks available on the TikTok shop right now. But this one does look nice, right? Yeah, I love this one. It's like pinstripe. It's really long, so it's good for long, tall people, short people. It don't matter. But yeah, it's amazing. And I just love how it feels, because there's a lot of aprons out there that when you put it on, it's just really irritating around the neck. But this one, it's like the perfect situation. So it's not too heavy, it's not too light, and the neck piece is just perfect thickness. So it, you know, it hugs you in the right way. All right. All right, last carrot, and then we're gonna get our stir fry ready. So ladies and gentlemen, while I have your attention, this is the perfect time if you have any plant-based questions. You know what I mean? So definitely bring the questions, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to offer help and guidance about being more plant-based, right? So if this is something you've been thinking about doing, and you know, you need some help, you need some guidance, you know, I have plenty of resources, you know, tips, tricks, all that good stuff, things that will, you know, point you in the right direction. Noise. Cut it out. Okay, cabbage for our stir fry, right? Let's get these carrots out of the way. With my stir fry, I don't like cutting the cabbage too small, because I like being able to char the cabbage, and that just brings out another level of flavor. So I do big cuts with the cabbage, right? Like I don't like overcooked cabbage. It's just not really the guy. All right, almost there, people. Last thing we're gonna cut up is some farmer's market mushrooms, and then we are home sailing. Okay. Actually, we need to get this cucumber cut, and I need a nice plate for my cucumber. All right. All right, we can use this. Okay. All right. charger will reach. So might have to see if upstairs is open and get the long gray one. Open, yes, no? Okay, so cucumbers, that's a good length. That works. Use the extension. What's up? No worries. Is that still drying?
Mhm.
Okay. And we're not getting rid of any part of the cucumber because it's all good and we're gonna be eating it today. Now, if I was cutting this as like prep and maybe using it tomorrow, then I won't use the center because that's gonna break down really fast and we're gonna end up with some really soggy, mushy cucumber mix, right? Which is what we don't want. This is what I don't like. Okay. What's up, people? What's up? Welcome, welcome. We're making hand rolls today, right? Everybody in the house is gonna make their own, right? So we're just cutting everything up and getting it ready, all right? Oh, I almost forgot the tofu. Ooh, snap. Can't forget the tofu. If you joined me last night, I did some cumin tofu. That was delicious. So tonight we're gonna do some Asian barbecue tofu, all right? So let me get my broil on. All right, put this over here. How we doing? How we doing? You lost me at tofu. Then peace out. Grab me thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Okay, where we at? 20. Okay, cool. Yes. See, this is the beautiful thing about the world, you know? We all have our opinions and what we're entitled to. What's up, Jennifer? How you doing? Welcome back, welcome back. Oh, you know what? You messaged me yesterday, didn't you? I got so busy after the live last night. Whew. All right, but don't worry. I got you. I will check the message today and I will hit you back up. All right? No worries. But yeah, today we're doing a version of hand rolls, right? So we're cutting cucumbers for the hand rolls. We have carrots, right? So we have carrots, cucumbers. I'm gonna char these long beans in a second. These are gonna go in there as well. I already made this delicious mix. So this is bean curd, right? And what I do is I boil the bean curd and it's like the flavor of this, really amazing. I boil the bean curd completely, right? Crush it, boil it, and then I season it up really well. And you can literally season the bean curd with anything you want. But what I put in this bean curd was sesame oil. Good job, Emma. Liquid smoke. Go ahead. Yes. You're gonna get fed tonight. Good job. All right. So what I did was in the bean curd, I added sesame oil, liquid smoke, lots of cilantro, jalapenos, a touch of curry, and mushroom oyster sauce, and regular soy sauce, right? And I mix that up together. Really tasty, really amazing. And it just, because it's such a blank canvas, it absorbs all that flavor and it just tastes really, really, really good. All right. I don't really know what tofu is, but no different than avocado in taste. No, tofu definitely does not taste like avocados. But it depends on how you make them. You know what I mean? The oyster sauce is super tasty. Yes, it is. Oyster sauce is the jam. You know what I mean? I love it.
Somebody else said.
I love it.
Somebody else said sounds great.
Thank you. So let me get this tofu ready.
And somebody said definitely brave enough to try tofu.
Yes. It just has to be done right. That's the most important thing. You know, you have to really be careful where you go to eat tofu, right? You don't want to go to a place that does not know how to cook tofu, and there are a lot of places like that, unfortunately. So, best case scenario, if you want to try tofu that you're not cooking, that you're gonna go eat somewhere, go to a Thai restaurant, right? Go to a Thai restaurant. You'll be better off getting tofu there because they understand tofu is, it's part of their culture, and they do it really well. And I'd say 8 out of 10 times it'll be seasoned, crispy on the outside, and just, much more pleasant, right? So let's get this tofu ready for what we're gonna do. Now let's see. I want sticks, so we're gonna go this way. All right. Man the monitor, Ellen. Man the monitor. Watch me cook. Watch the screen.
Sorry.
Watch the screen. My assistant here is mesmerized by my cooking. So instead of watching the screen, she's watching me cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that.
So anyway, so tofu today, we're gonna season with some delicious spices. All right. And we're gonna make this taste oh so good. All right, last stack. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them on here.
Somebody said she knows you're making good food. Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, we're gonna drizzle a little bit of oil as well because we want this to kind of sear on the bottom, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the tofu, right? So we can get the seasoning all around. Almost done. Whoop, that one broke. So the other thing about tofu, right? You want to make sure you get the right variety, the right style, right? So for roasting, baking, frying, you want to go with a medium or a firm, right? If you want to do like a ground, and make like a ground beef situation or something like that, then I would go with the extra firm because it'll crumble a lot easier and better, right? So let's grab our seasoning mix. Let's see what we're gonna do, what we're gonna go with. We're gonna take a little bit of cinnamon. We're gonna take some smoked paprika. We're gonna take some ginger powder, right? Cinnamon, ginger, smoked paprika. We're gonna go with some of, let's see, Chinatown. Right? We're gonna go with some Chinatown right here, this baby right here. All right, and then we're gonna do salt and pepper and sesame oil. All right. Okay. Want a cucumber?
No. No, I don't.
Can you believe it, guys? She doesn't like cucumbers.
Just water.
Very good for you. All right, so we're gonna drizzle sesame oil first. All right, perfect. All right, next up, salt. So, very important when you're seasoning, never go like this in season, all right? When you do that, you deposit clumps of salt. When you season from up above like this is what you call chef level seasoning, right? This way, you get to sprinkle the seasoning on very evenly and you get to dust it versus dropping big clumps of salt, okay? Very important. Next up, fresh cracked black pepper, all right? I never leave home without my cracked pepper, okay? Okay. Next up, a little bit of Ceylon cinnamon. Cinnamon. Okay. Not too much of this, right? So we're gonna dust it.
Somebody said hello, first time here.
Welcome, welcome. How are you? Wanda? It's very nice to meet you. I'm Chef Ed Harris, all right? A restaurant consultant, professional chef. Been cooking for almost 30 years, and I love all things plant-based. And this is a 100% plant-based channel. So everything you see here is gonna be delicious, it's gonna be plant-based, and it's gonna be good for you. All right? Welcome. All right, so I'm putting on some smoked paprika. This is gonna give us some nice color, all right, as well as some depth, all right? And then our ginger powder, right? Can't do Asian food without ginger. Like, doesn't even make sense. You know what I mean? And then last but not least, the main event. This is our Chinatown. And Chinatown is a seasoning that I developed years ago, right? That literally takes you to Chinatown when you cook with it, right? So it's really beautiful flavors, star anise, you know, ginger, garlic, onion. Speaking about ginger, garlic, onion, let me get some onion and garlic powder.
Miss Coco T said, Mr. said, first time here.
Oh, welcome, welcome. I love all the newcomers. Welcome, welcome. How are you? I'm Ed Harris, a professional restaurant chef, all right, restaurant consultant. I help people maximize their profit in their restaurant businesses online.
Somebody said, how long have you been plant-based? You look so young.
Oh, I appreciate that. Almost 10 years. I will be 46 this year, believe it or not. All right, so that plant power, baby, it works. I'm telling you, it works. Okay, so this is the trick to really good tofu. It's seasoning it properly, right? Not too much, not too little, but enough that when you bite into it, there's flavor. All right, that's the most important thing.
So the same person said, wow, it showed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so the tofu is good. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna put this into the oven. But before we do that, we're gonna just give it a little tossy toss. All right, that oil, yep, it's doing its thing. Move it around. We don't want to move it around too much because then they might break. All right, so just enough so that the seasonings that fell onto the pan touches the bottom. Right? Yes. Okay. Now there are multiple ways you can do this, but because I did strips, this is the easiest way to kind of get everything in there. So this is going to go into the oven. My oven is on broil right now, but I'm putting that on the middle shelf. So it's gonna do its thing nice and slow, but it's gonna give it nice, crispy, delicious goodness, right? Actually, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of oil in there, just a touch on the sides, so as it starts sizzling, it'll have something to kind of sizzle with. Okay.
Somebody said how long on broil?
On broil, it's gonna be in there for probably 15 minutes. 15 minutes give or take, right? It just really depends on what texture you want your tofu to be. For me, I want it to be crispy with just a little bit of softness, not too much. So 15 minutes, give or take, will be good. You can do 10 minutes because the cool thing is tofu, you can eat it raw. So really, the broiling is just to develop that caramelization, which gives you another level of flavor, right? Which is very, very important.
Somebody said, will it crust?
Yes, definitely. And if you want more crust, then dipping it into some flour or cornstarch and then baking it will be the other alternative.
And Jennifer, it's at 500 broil.
Yes. So broiled normally is like 500, 550, right? So,
Oh, yeah, 550.
yeah, for sure. So let's get everything ready for our stir fry. So I have these blue oysters, which I got from the farmer's market, which are just amazing. So we're gonna just kind of clean it up a little bit, right? Just cut off that bottom piece because everything else is edible. And we're gonna just kind of separate these.
They're so pretty.
They are pretty. And they taste really, really good.
I put a finger.
They remind me of hanjimijis because they're, long,
And
tubular.
And that color.
Yes, right? Brown hanjimijis, right? Or beach. Okay, so this one, we're good here. We can just separate this. These we're gonna cut in half and then cut. So you see these came directly from the farmer's market. They're super clean. Like there's no blemishes, there's no dirt, there's nothing, right? So when you're buying mushrooms, really pay attention to that. If your mushrooms look dirty, then you need to really think about where you're getting your mushrooms from and think twice about buying them, right? Like they should be really clean. And if you're getting mushrooms from the supermarket and they're really dirty, maybe you should switch supermarkets.
Somebody said, or grow your own.
Or grow your own. But be careful growing your own because it's growing mushrooms. I compare it to having a child, an infant. You have to pay attention. You have to watch it. You have to babysit it because it needs to have the perfect moisture. It needs to have the perfect temperature, right? There's a lot of different things, a lot of nuances that you need to pay attention to because otherwise they won't bloom. The mycelium won't do its thing. And then you end up with a lackluster situation, right? So definitely, if you are going to grow your mushrooms, which is fun too, and it's cool, but you just need to make sure that it's getting the sunlight it needs, all those different things. All right. I love the questions. Keep them coming. I love the comments. Keep them coming. Welcome everybody. For those just joining, we're making a stir fry and we're making hand rolls, right? So I just cut my blue oysters, and then now I'm gonna get my cinnamon caps cut as well. Cinnamon caps is another variety of mushrooms that look like this, right? So pretty and so flavorful. So flavorful, right?
Guys, don't forget to check out the shop and support, please. Thank you.
Aw. Guys, you hear my daughter? Check out the shop. Thanks, Emma. I'm training her to be an amazing salesperson. Yes. She's gonna be better than me, I know. I know. I'll cook all day and forget to sell.
Somebody said, show the part of the mushroom you cut off that is no good.
Yes, of course. So that is the bottom. Here it is. So it's just the nub, right? So literally it's the part that comes out of the sawdust or the wood, whatever it is that the mushroom is growing from. This is the only piece that I'm cutting off, right? Everything else on those cinnamon caps are edible. The whole stem is edible. The caps, just that bottom part that is literally, wood that you don't need to or want to eat.
Somebody said first time seeing cinnamon caps.
Yeah, they are amazing. And you will almost never find these in a supermarket. You will have to go to a farmer's market to possibly find these, right? And it just then depends on the grower. But this is, look at them, so pretty, right? They're just amazing. Flavor wise, the way they sear, just just yummy. Like I love mushrooms. Hence, we're using it for our stir fry. All right.
These are beautiful.
Thank you. They are very beautiful. Okay, we are almost prepped and ready. All right, get rid of that little piece. This piece here. And then time to chop. Okay, mushrooms are done. Garbage.
Somebody sent a hand heart. I think that's me.
Hmm?
Somebody sent a hand heart.
Send. What?
Say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I just joined. What are you cooking? Lovely kitchen, by the way. That's so kind of you. Thank you. So I'm doing my version of hand rolls, right? We have carrots. We have long beans. These are Asian long beans. We have fresh cucumbers cut. I'm about to cut up some peppers as well. And then we're going to do a mushroom and cabbage stir fry with some onions, right? Very clean, very delicious. I have my sushi rice in the back that I finished earlier on in the live. What's up, Emma?
Somebody was saying, what's the texture when stir fried? I think they're talking about the mushroom.
So the cinnamon caps, they are almost, I would say, like a porcini mushroom or a cremini mushroom, right? In that texture, like a baby portobello. That would be just very firm, not a lot of water content, almost dense. And the blue oysters are like king oyster mushrooms or trumpet mushrooms, right? You know, those long tubular mushrooms that you find in the Asian markets, they're like that texture.
What about compared to real food?
To what?
Like actual food, like besides mushrooms.
What are they compared to in terms of food? I mean, what are mushrooms compared to? I would say that's tricky because I don't want to compare. Well, it's not going to be compared to meat. So it would be the equivalent of something that's sort of slightly dense. So maybe if you were to cook cabbage halfway, right? So like bigger chunks of cabbage and just bite into it, it will be that kind of texture, or even like firm tofu, right? Like really firm tofu, that's what these mushrooms would be like. Okay, so we have our peppers, which I need a container for. Okay. Dirtying up a lot of dishes tonight. All right. For the peppers, we're gonna do just sticks because everything, and this is the other thing about when you're cooking, you know, people eat with their eyes, right? So you always want to make sure that whatever you're cooking is presentable, right, visually. So you want to kind of cut everything the same length, right? We're doing hand rolls, so everything needs to stick inside of the nori the same way. So if we were to cut up the peppers or dice them up or something like that, they'll be falling out of the nori when we try to make the hand rolls. But if everything is sticks like this, you see what I'm saying? Like it's perfect because now everything is literally almost the same length, right? So this way, when you put them in there, they all fit, they look beautiful, and it just works, right? So very important to remember when you're cooking because knife cuts actually also affect how your food tastes. So when you have really nice knife cuts, your food also tastes really nice, right?
Sent another hand heart. It's money.
Thank you. Much love to you too. All right, let's check the tofu. Oh, it's looking beautiful. sizzling real nice. And the smoked paprika already added color to it, you know? So really cool. This pepper we're gonna use for our stir fry because it's not long enough to put into the hand rolls.
Guys, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask because he will answer them.
Woohoo! Tell him, girl. Tell him, girl. I know I trained you right. Yeah. She's 15. Gotta mess with her a little bit, you know? My young entrepreneur. All right, so colorful. I love cooking and making food look good. So hence the different colors, right? So we have yellow, we have red, we have orange, we have green going into our hand rolls. So visually, already you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, I wanna try that. You know what I mean? Because it already looks good visually.
Somebody said she sounds lovely. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, don't make her head get big, guys.
It cannot get big, okay?
Don't make her head get big, guys. But thank you.
Somebody else shared the live.
Ah, thank you. Alrighty, we're almost there, people. We are almost there. Thanks for rocking and rolling with us, right? So we have our peppers looking pretty. And then that's the last thing to cut. No, we're gonna get our avocados. I like avocados in my sushi, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Somebody said she's doing a good job. Thank you. I'm trying.
Alrighty.
Cinnamon caps. Which cooking method is better for texture and taste?
Saute, for sure. 9 out of 10 times, mushrooms are always gonna be really good when you saute them, right? That's the best case scenario. The only other way I would cook mushrooms besides sauteing is on a grill, right? So I would make like a really dope marinade. I would toss my mushrooms in them and then put them on the grill. That flavor, whew, money, right? But those are the two ways because the thing is, just like tofu, mushrooms and tofu, it needs high heat, it needs searing, it needs charring because that's how you really get to develop really amazing flavor, right? If you boil them, if you stew them, you know, it's just not the same, right? But if you sear them initially first and then you add them to like a sauce or something like that, then that's cool. But you always want to get that initial sear or char on them to seal in that flavor.
All right, we got 3 questions. Well, 3 kind of things I have to say to you. One person said, I love avocado. It's my favorite healthy fat.
Yep.
And somebody said, I just checked in. What are we making?
We are making hand rolls, right? With some delicious seasoned tofu. And then we are also doing a stir fry, right? And the stir fry is going to be peppers, carrots, lots of garlic, onions, cabbage, and mushrooms.
And also somebody said, what's the difference between star anise and garam masala? I don't know what that is.
Garam masala?
Oh, that's what it said. Ooh, my bad. That's what it looked like.
Star anise is an individual spice. Garam masala is a bunch of spices. And depending on what part of India, thank you. Depending on what part of India you are from, or depending on what part of India you're getting the garam masala from, it'll be a bunch of different spices. And speaking about garam masala, I love India. Like I've been there, 3-4 times, and the food and the people, amazing. Like, whew, I can go back there right now.
Wanda G said, thank you, I've learned a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Somebody said, I'm new here, what are you making?
We are doing hand rolls for dinner, and we are doing a stir fry, a quick stir fry. So I'm getting my garlic ready for the stir fry. The stir fry is gonna have some peppers, onions, garlic, mushrooms, and cabbage. And the hand rolls are gonna be some delicious nori snacks, right? Because, you know, I like to switch it up when I'm home. And we're gonna have some charred long beans. We're gonna have cucumbers and carrots in the hand roll. And I already did the sushi rice, right? Which we seasoned with some, rice wine vinegar and sugar and salt.
Let me say it sounds yummy.
It is gonna be yummy, thank you. All right, let's check out the tofu, people, because it is sizzling. Yeah. See? See that beautiful color on the top? So we're gonna let this go for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna give it a little flippity flip.
Somebody asked which curry is a better flavor profile.
Say that again.
Somebody said which curry is a better flavor profile.
Um, that's tricky, right? Because there are so much types of curries out there, right? Japan has curry, Thailand has curry, um, the Caribbean has curry, India has curry, and each of those countries have levels to curry. I would say Japan has just one, maybe two types of curry, and it's normally sweet, but Thailand has maybe 8 different types of curry, just like India, right? There's Masaman curry, I mean, like you name it. So it really just depends on what part of India or what region. And then, how do you like your curry? There's curries that are coconut milk and tomato based. There's curries that are just like, dry herbs, dry spices based. But traditionally, like I like a yellow curry, lots of turmeric, or I like a goan curry, which is like tomato, coconut, milk, and then the regular curry powder. But there's levels to curry, so it really just depends on what flavor profile you want, right? Do you want a red curry? Do you want a green curry, a yellow curry, a black curry, brown curry? You know what I mean? Like there's levels to curry.
All right, we got a lot of questions. Ready? Somebody said, "Do you deliver? We need to be able to place orders."
Yes, of course. We deliver immediately. As soon as you order, it ships out the next day. What are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about food.
Yes, that too. We deliver to our bellies.
Somebody
Thank
said,
you.
"Looks gorgeous. That's amazing." Somebody said they were going to do. They're gonna
Watch your
do.
fingers.
Yes, they're gonna do tofu, medium or firm. I think.
Um, Either one's fine. They're very similar. There's not much difference between the medium and firm. Medium is obviously a little softer, and firm being a little bit more dry. The further up you go to the tofu, the more crumbly it gets, right? So medium is like the perfect middle where it'll stay intact a little bit more, and it won't, crumble as fast.
Somebody said, "What did you use?"
What did I use? I used medium.
And somebody else said, "You give so much information, makes it so easy."
Oh, thank you.
And did you squeeze the tofu? Because I heard sometimes that you have to squeeze it. That's what they said.
I mean, you can. What I do is after I cut it, I drain it and I let it sit on a paper towel for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It really just depends. If you're roasting it, you don't really have to. You can squeeze it just slightly and get rid of some of that excess water, but it'll evaporate and come out as it's cooking. And even if you're frying it, the same thing. The goal is to not just open it, take it out and add it to your saute pan or roast it right out of that liquid. At least just get rid of that excess liquid that's on the outside, and then from there you're good to go. All right?
Somebody said, "Can you freeze tofu?"
Oh yeah, 100%. When you freeze tofu, it expands the air pockets, and then when it defrosts, you're able to squeeze out a lot more of the moisture out of it. So some people do it as a trick to, changing the texture of the tofu. It's cool. It's not 100% noticeable, but if you wanted to just try for an experiment, you can. You know what I mean? But it's not something that you should do because it's gonna make or break your tofu.
Do you thaw it in the refrigerator?
Yeah, if you're not gonna use it immediately, I would thaw it in the refrigerator. Or if you wanted to, like, let's say you froze it today and you wanted to cook it tomorrow, then I would take it out, an hour or two before I'm ready to cook, so it can fully defrost and not stay outside too long. And then that way I can squeeze it out and get it going. All right, my pan is hot, so I'm gonna char my long beans.
And guys, if I didn't ask any of your questions, just put them again so I can see them.
Oh yeah?
Yes, Daddy.
You can't miss the questions from the beautiful people. All right, people. So we're charring the long beans. All right. And basically, what we're doing is extracting the natural sugars in the long bean. We don't want to overcook it. We don't want it to get mushy. So charring is like the perfect way to do this to impart flavor as well as keep the integrity of the long beans, right? So when we're eating the hand rolls, it's just really cool flavor taste.
Somebody said his hand roll like an egg roll.
No. So a hand roll would just be okay. So there's a regular sushi roll that's a log that they cut into slices. A hand roll would be a smaller version of that that doesn't get cut. So you basically just put everything in the nori. You kind of roll it into a cone, and then you're just taking bites of it, right? So what we do is hold on. So I use like little packets like this, the nori sheets, and we just kind of hold them, put our rice, put our veggies, kind of just fold it in half, and then just kind of bite it like that. If you wanted to do the actual nori sheets, you can do that too, but then you'd have to cut it because they're so big because they're made for rolls, right? But these, they're already nice and small, so it's just very efficient to do it at home with these. So any kind of nori snacks, your Asian market sell these, and you just get some. All right, long beans are ready. My spoon. So, I'm using some of this Asian barbecue seasoning right here. We're gonna sprinkle this on the long bean just to add a little bit more chef's kiss flavor.
Somebody said I love Asian market.
Oh yeah, that's my spot. Okay, first batch is done. Yummy. All right, we're gonna let the saute pan get hot again, and then we're gonna add the rest of the long beans. Welcome, welcome, people. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining. All right, we're working on some stir fry, and we're working on some long beans and some hand rolls. All right. Thank you. Okay, pan is hot. Last batch in.
Somebody said I can eat that with the tofu alone.
Yes, exactly, exactly. You're my kind of person. That's how I would do it. Okay, so our tofu is ready, right? Beautiful. So we're gonna just put this to the side. Turn off the oven. See, just like that, it's done. All right. Now, where was I? Salt.
Guys, sorry, Dad. You good?
Yeah. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah.
What's up?
Don't forget to check out the shop, guys.
Alrighty. So we are almost there. Let's sprinkle some of this on here. Put that away. Spoon. Alright. Amazing. So rice is done. Veggies are 90% done. We just need to cook the stir fry, and we will be a-okay.
Somebody says a leafy hopper. A leafy hopper, so it's okay.
Ah, nice. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the gifts, people. We're gonna add some jalapenos because we like it spicy. That's my cue. That's my cue. I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of Chinese cooking wine. See in my squeeze bottle. Add a little bit more flavor. that Chinese cooking wine, the smell of it, the aroma that it will put in your house, so good. Oh my goodness.
Somebody said that's how you know it's gonna be good.
Delicious. So the long beans are done. See the color of them? They look really nice. There's still texture, but there's tons of flavor just because we charred it, right? So we're gonna put that there, and we're gonna get ready for our stir fry. So oil down, and then we're gonna add the onions, garlic, and chilies.
Said set smoke detectors off, but nothing's burning.
Hmm?
Somebody said it set the smoke detectors off, but nothing's burning.
Yeah. My smoke detector is very sensitive.
Somebody sent another gifts.
Appreciate you.
Somebody
Thank
said
you.
looks so good.
Thank you, thank you. So right now we're just caramelizing the onions and garlic. Give it a little bit of oil. So the trick with mushrooms, right? This is how I do my mushrooms. Very, very important. You never want to overcrowd your pan. You put just enough on the pan where you can still see the bottom of the pan, and then you let it sear, right? You don't put too much in, you don't cover it up, you don't put all at once, and you don't move around the pan once you put it. I'm not sure why it's going on. I really don't know. I think it just wants to be a part of this beautiful life that we have going on, you know? So it's acting up. Alrighty. Okay. Caramelization. Okay, so this is ready. We're gonna move it from here and we're gonna put it into our bowl that we're gonna add our stir fry to later, right? Because we have to do this in batches. Really, really important. That's how you get that flavor and that's how you end up with not this waterlogged, soggy mushroom, right? Very, very important.
Somebody said you got sake in a bottle.
No, close. It's Chinese cooking wine. It's called Shaoxing wine, right? And it's like my go-to. I always have a bottle at home, right? That is one of the ingredients that will single-handedly make your food taste very Chinese. Okay? That wine alone. And you deglaze with it just like you would regular cooking wine or sake, right? Sake kind of gets lost in the food, unless you're making like, a miso glaze or something like that. But the Chinese cooking wine is money.
Somebody said good to know.
Huh?
I said good to know.
Yes, definitely. All right. So we're gonna get our pan really hot, and we're going to saute our mushrooms very quickly, right? So this is the beautiful onions and garlic that we sauteed. I'm gonna add the peppers right to it. So when we add this back to the fire, it's all in there, right? Because we don't want to cook it too much.
Somebody said they're gonna look for it this weekend. Or
Yes,
this
definitely check it out. Let me see if I have the actual bottle that it comes in. Yes, actually I do. It's right here. So I'm just soaking this in water in it because I'm going to reuse the bottle. But this is the name right here, Shaoxing wine, Shaoxing cooking wine. And there's multiple brands, just like there are multiple brands of soy sauce. There's multiple brands of Shaoxing wine. So just get a bottle of this wine and come back and tell me how you like it.
Somebody said, do you sear your peppers as well?
Some, which ones? The jalapenos? If it's the jalapenos, it'll get seared a little bit, just slightly, because I like the texture of it. So because we have a big saute pan, we can put all the mushrooms in. Right? If you have a smaller saute pan or you're not cooking as much, different story. Right? So you see, so loud. So you see, mushrooms are in, right? We're gonna hit it with the black pepper.
Cindy said hi.
Hello. Hit it with the black pepper. Then we're gonna hit it with some salt. Not too much because salt and mushrooms, they interact very differently, and the salt starts to bring out moisture. So when you're adding salt, be careful when you add it and how much you add, right? So we're adding just enough to bring out the flavor of the mushroom, but not too much, right? Because remember, we're doing a stir fry, and we already have a sauce that has a lot of salt in it already, right? Which is the soy sauce mix that I have right here in the refrigerator. So I make a big batch of this and I keep it in the fridge and it'll last you forever, right? So in here I have oyster sauce, soy sauce, mushroom sauce,
Vegetarian oyster sauce.
vegan oyster
Yeah.
sauce, of course, sweet chili sauce, and ginger. Yeah, and that's it, right? So that's my mix. So we give this a toss now because it's been on there for about a minute. We're gonna give it a little more oil, right? Just a touch. And I like keeping my oil in bottles like this because you can always use it and you don't have to worry about pouring too much because it's just like a squeeze, and it's like a half a tablespoon at a time comes out. So it's perfect for cooking, right? When you just need to add a little bit more. So these mushrooms are sauteed, but they're like dry saute. So this really gives you that beefy, meaty kind of texture, right? Which is what we want. So I'm going to put these in here as well.
Somebody said, are these recipes in your book?
Some of them. The mushroom recipes in my book, all right? And there's other just really delicious recipes. There's a noodle dish in there. Woo!
So yeah, guys, go check out the shop to get the cookbook.
Yes.
It's in there.
So for the cabbage, dry saute pan, right? Very hot, and we're charring again, right? Everything about cooking, especially when you're plant-based, is about developing flavor and layering flavor. So charring is one of those secret, what's the word? One of those secret techniques, right? That a lot of people don't realize goes a really long way. All right?
Before you chart, where do you get your plant-based ingredients from?
Any supermarket. Any supermarket. There's nothing special that I bought here that you can't find anywhere. The only thing I would say is the bean curd that you would have to go to an Asian market. So I shop between Asian markets and regular supermarkets like Kroger or Publix, Whole Foods, Sprouts. That's where I do, most of my shopping, and then farmers market. Those are the three places: a regular supermarket, farmers market, and an Asian market.
Somebody reposted the live.
Sweet. Thank you very much. All right, let me turn this fan on just in case. So into the saute pan, I added the cabbage, right? So what now? I'll drizzle some of this oil in just a little bit to kind of make the charring faster, right? You hear the sizzling, right? Doesn't need a lot, like half of a tablespoon, just enough to kind of get things moving a little fast. And then now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. This is going to bring out the natural sugars in the cabbage. All right? That alarm has it in for you. It really does. I've never heard it go up this much in one sitting. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You see the char on the cabbage? Like, literally, we want, like, char. Okay? It brings out the natural sweetness, which is just impeccable in cabbage. Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, people. We're almost there. Okay. We're going to add this to our bowl so we can do the last batch of cabbage. All right. Put that in. Okay. Spread it around. Add a little bit of oil. A little bit of salt. And And then we're gonna add our scraps of peppers and carrots because we are at the end of our stir fry prep, right? So you see what I did? I prepped and I got everything cooked in layers and just in stages, right? Because this is how you make really good stir fry at home. If I was to saute the onions, the garlic, then add the cabbage, add the mushrooms all at the same time, it will not be half as tasty as it's going to be this way, right? So when you do it in stages, you're able to control the cooking of everything. So this way, when you combine everything together, it's the perfect texture all throughout the dish, right? Because some things are going to overcook before everything else is ready. So that's the trick and the technique to remember when you're cooking stir fry because traditionally stir fry is very quick, right? On a wok, it's like 30 seconds, boom, 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 and you're done. So like for instance, when I worked at this Asian restaurant in New York City called Budokan, working on the wok station, I mean, everything is so fast, right? And you have to put it out as soon as the order comes in. So knowing the nuances of adding those things layer by layer is the best case scenario.
The version her fantasy said, "I love you."
Oh, I love you too. All right, people. So this is ready to go, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our sauce, right? We're gonna add our sauce. And then we're gonna add the rest of this in. Okay? Then we're gonna give it a toss. See? Right? And we're gonna let that cook for a little bit. We'll give that maybe 2 minutes tops because everything is ready to go. So we're basically just introducing everything to each other, making it sing, making it dance, a little something, something, and then all that flavor is just gonna penetrate, and then we're gonna regulate, and we're gonna chopulate, which means eat, right? My wife's Nigerian, so when you eat, you say chop. So we're gonna chop this food up. All right.
Somebody said you can eat the stir fry by itself without the rolls, right?
Totally. Yes. My kids love to eat, so I have to feed them. I know the flavor profile is insane. Yes. Thank you so much, Empress. I appreciate that. You see, I'm like, trying to see. All right, so I'm gonna turn this down because this is ready. Look how pretty this looks, guys. All right, everything is nice. The vegetables are still, there's texture to them. Nothing is overcooked. There's tons of flavor, right? Gonna turn that down all the way. And then we're gonna set up. So last thing is for the sauces, all right? Everybody needs their sauce, right? So we're gonna do soy.
Jane sent a rose. Well, the version of fantasy sent a rose.
Aww. So we're gonna add soy sauce, right? Do we have some salsa matcha?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So we have our soy sauce in. Then we're gonna go with some house-made chili oil, chili crisp, right?
Guys, this exact recipe is not in the cookbook, but if you want recipes like this, check out the cookbook, please.
Yes. There's similar recipes. There's some Asian recipes in the cookbook. There's a rice stick noodle recipe in the cookbook that's just to die for. All right. And that cookbook is in the TikTok shop. All right. And if you join me Monday to Wednesday, I'm on here cooking live, right? So you get to see plant-based dishes, you get to learn technique, and then if you have a restaurant, you can hit me up because that's what I do for a living. I help restaurant owners maximize profit. I help them with systems. I help train staff. You know, I basically make their restaurant better. Right?
Said, yes, chef.
Yes, I like that. All right, stir fry's done. All right, let's put this in our bowl. All right, so the people can see what we made and then how we're gonna finish this baby.
Just so you guys know, he won Chopped. Just putting it out there.
Yes, people. I was on Food Network and won Chopped. Okay, look at this cabbage stir fry. Woo. All right.
Somebody said, oh, awesome.
Huh?
Somebody said, awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, last but not least, right, to finish up our stir fry is, can anybody guess what's the last ingredient? What's the last ingredient we're gonna put on the stir fry? If you guess, then you might get something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, what are you gonna get them? You have a Michelin star.
Tofu. No, close. Sesame seeds, people. Sesame seeds. Right?
Somebody said sesame seeds. 2 people.
Ah, nice. Beautiful. There you go. DM me. I will send you a secret recipe to my vegan eggs.
Somebody sent 8 gifts.
Oh, I love you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, stir fry's done. All right, we're gonna add some chili crisp to our soy sauce. Right? See, it's all about the visuals, people. It's all about the visuals.
Somebody said vegan eggs.
Yes, vegan eggs. Yes, my vegan eggs. They're delicious. And it's just like just eggs, no pun intended. But it's literally like just eggs. But healthier because there's none of that chemicals in it. You know what I mean? It's not highly processed. It's like maybe 5 ingredients, maybe. And it's money.
Somebody said, what is the chili crisps?
These are my chili crisps, right? So these are onion, garlic, ginger, toasted sesame seeds, guajillo chilies, chili de arbol, ancho chilies, vinegar, sea salt, and miso. So delicious. So delicious. Yes, and these are available right here. Flavor. Lots of flavor. All right. Okay, people, you know how TikTok do. So we got to make sure we stay within the guidelines. All right. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do one just so you can kind of see how this is all going to happen, right? So I get the snacks for the nori versus the actual plain sheets of nori because those are like, these are flavored. They're ready to go. They're delicious. And they just make the experience even better. Right? You know, I have kids, so it's gotta be interactive. You know what I mean? Like we don't do boring stuff.
Somebody said, how do I DM chef?
Oh, easy. Just send me. I can't even say that too. You know how TikTok be, man. But you know what to do. You know how to find me. You know what to do.
Chef Ed Harris, guys.
Yes, I am Chef Ed Harris everywhere. All right, everywhere. So let's get the rice. I'm going to put this in a bowl in a little bit, but for demo's sake, we're going to just, this is what I do, right? So we take one of these, we take a little bit of this delicious rice. We put it on there.
You need a plate?
Nope, because I'm going to eat it. Take a pepper, take another pepper. We take a carrot, right? We take a cucumber. Oh, my goodness. We take a tofu, right? And then we take a long bean. Oh my goodness. Nope, that's for later. And then I get my spoon from a soy sauce. Mix that up together. And then I just drizzle some of that right there like that. Oh my goodness. Whew. Right? That's it, people. And then we go like this.
Jennifer said that looks so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Oh man.
Somebody said, I see why you said cut all the veggies the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Look good.
That was delicious. That's it, people. We about to go tear this up. Thank you so much for joining. I love you. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you next week. I do this Monday to Wednesday. And I'm always making something plant-based and something delicious. Right? So my kiddies are waiting. It's 8 o'clock. We've been on there for a minute. Thank you for rocking with me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said thank you. I learned so much.
My pleasure.
Somebody else said thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Chef Ed Harris, I just got here. What did you make?
Sorry. So we did a bunch of stuff. We did a delicious stir fry. We did some charred long beans. Thank you so much for that. Who did that? So we can shout them out. I'm all beautiful. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate you. We cut some peppers, some carrots, some cucumbers, and we're gonna make little hand rolls with these seasoned nori. And that's what we're having for dinner, right? 100% plant-based with the tofu as well in the back here. All right. And this is what we do. Okay. So thank you so much again, ladies and gentlemen. I truly appreciate it. I truly thank you for hanging out with me.
Ladybug said, I think it said look delicious. And
thank you. It is delicious.
Bean Juice said, beautiful. Thanks for sharing and inspiring.
Yes. Come back here. Send me a message if you need to about questions you have about being plant-based. Just consider me your plant-based guide. All right? Ciao, people. Have an amazing rest of your week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.